In this tutorial, I want to show you a couple of advanced techniques, particularly when working with higher resolution footage, in this case 4K footage. Let's just look at this scene, and I used some similar footage of our subject from the previous lessons to make kind of an introduction sequence for introducing Sophie, for example. So that's just a short edit, but with it I want to show you a couple of techniques, one of which is going to be how to add some titles and how to treat maybe an ending of a scene here where it turns into monochrome and then into blur. That provides a nice contrast for some type that's going to come over. And now we're going to start working with multiple video tracks. And we're going to be grading the footage to get kind of a more cinematic quality color scale to our project. I'm going to show you how to basically use two different shot sizes. Now I showed you that a little bit before, but I'm going to show you it again in a project like this. And so you want the shot to be continuous, but you want it to change as if it was another camera position, when in fact it's just one camera position. And because it's 4K, there's just so much more visual information in the original footage. So, how do we create something like this? Well, let me just go up and make a new project to start from the beginning. In this case, yeah, we'll just call it my project. It's 25 frames per second and 16:9. Great. That's what my footage is. And here's my first shot of Sophie. I've got an in and out point selected here, from right there to right there. I think I need to take it a little bit longer, let it go dark. And then I'm going to drop that to the timeline. So now let's add that shot again on the timeline above with the same in and out point. And now they are exactly one over the other, and of course the viewer is only going to see the information that's on the timeline above. So what I want to show you is that I'm going to cut this clip and I'm going to change the scale. So what I'm going to do is I want to start out with her in a large framing. Looks like right there's a blink. That might be a good time to cut it. And I can use the scissor icon to do that. And then I can slide this over. And so far nothing has changed visually, but bear with me. Now I can go to this clip, double tap on it, go to frame and fit, and I can change the size of this image. I can change that almost to %. And do I want rotation? I don't think I really do. But I want to reframe that with some look space so she's looking out. Okay, so that has been resized. That top clip now, because it's above the base clip, is what a viewer will see first. The same shot in the same time. She blinks, her eyes open, and then it drops out and back down to show the first clip. And I can now go to this clip and I can copy those settings by going to copy, go back, go to the second occurrence, tap on this icon, and now I can paste. I can paste any of these attributes. It's only really frame and fit that I've modified. So if I had done other things, I could also copy those, or just say I just want the frame and fit settings to now be copied to this portion of my scene. So it'll alternate between a close-up to a medium and back to a close-up. So that's how the first part of that editing was done. While we're here, I want to show you another cool thing, and that is, while I really like this, it still looks like video to me. So I want to go in and look for a color setting that might be more appropriate for what I'm looking for. And you can, audition many different styles. I'm really just looking for something that's just a little more cinematic. And some of these under the cube menu here are some color lookup tables that look rather nice. This one's called Trendy Film. And I've got it checked here. And now when I come back, Trendy Film is on that close-up, and then it just looks like video here. So I want to copy that same effect to the other clips. So again, I will double tap on that clip. I'll go to presets. In this tape, I want to copy my color grading over here. So I will copy that and select my next clip and just paste the color grading there. And do the same for this last clip. Yep. Now it's starting to look more like a cinematic intro. There's the shadow going across. So at that point, I can choose to keep that framing, or I could let it go back to the medium shot. And here I can choose to then split it and treat this. I'll take two fingers here to zoom in. Just working on this segment of the clip, this is where I want it to blur and go to monochrome. If I double tap here, then I tap here to get to color and effects. I can choose a color and effect. I could have it just fade very desaturated. I could even just take that saturation down here. I could lighten it a bit, or it could go straight to black and white. And then I can apply a blur. And now a Gaussian blur is generally what I would choose for something like that. Maybe a Gaussian 20. Or maybe a little bit less, as a Gaussian 10. And you can also then fine-tune the radius there. Maybe Gaussian 14 is what I really wanted. Happy with that? Tap the back button. And now she'll go from that Trendy Film close-up, Trendy Film medium, to a black and white blur. Which will be nice if I want to put text over this. It'll be a sharp contrast between the sharp type and the soft image background. Before I do that, I will go to the sources and choose a transition. And I'm just going to use the cross dissolve, the basic one on the top left, most common transition type to be used. And I'm just going to drag it over here so that it's going to crossfade between that split clip. And I can adjust that however I like to be a shorter time. And now you see it'll come from that tight shot to the medium, lose the color and lose the focus in a nice soft way. I could then also take that transition if I wanted to go to black and just have it end at black. Let's audition that. And that's what I want. Nice, classy ending. I wanted to extend that a little bit more in time to hold that shot a little bit longer. I have a few extra seconds of footage there. It's nice.